Hi. Hi, guys. Hi, thanks for joining. Thank you. So excited to be back in 2022. Can you guys just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me properly? Roshni, can you give me a thumbs up? Thank you. Thank you, Anupama. Hi, Titi. Hey. So we're back in 2022 and we're back with our Instagram lives on sustainable architecture. Thank you so much, everyone who's joining in. Here, we're basically trying to talk to people who know what they're talking about. And today we're talking to Dr. Ajit Gokhale, who's going to talk to us about building reed bed systems for wastewater management. These Instagram lives on sustainable architecture are really meant for people who are interested in sustainability, but we feel that generally there is a mystery around, how to implement some of these sustainable practices. And so we try to talk to experts and really talk about what some of these sustainable practices entail and, how to implement them. So the how-tos, the pros and cons, we talk about cost, we talk about maintenance and all the meaty stuff. And, not just keep it on a very kind of surface level. So hopefully all of this has been helpful to you. I'm going to try to add Ajit. Him. Okay, Ajit is here. Hi, Ajit.
Hello.
You have to turn your screen.
I've got video and material which is going to be horizontal.
Yeah, but
So it will be good.
the only problem is that Instagram, the way it has to be portrayed, and half of the screen will be me and half will be you all the time. This is a limitation that Instagram has, so we can't, really do anything about it.
So I won't be able to share the video that we have
So what we can do
on the
is
PowerPoint presentation.
we can share the video later. So after the session, we can share the video on our Instagram stories or somewhere, and that's how we can do it. There are so
Or even PowerPoint slides also cannot be shown.
cannot be shared on the screen like this. I think the last time when we did the test, you had turned your screen and showed it on your computer
Yes,
screen. Yeah, I think you can do
that is
that.
how I would like to do.
Yeah, I think you can do that.
And
We can try. We can try. Yeah.
I can turn
No, because it
the
doesn't
mobile
help.
and it doesn't help.
Because it doesn't help. No. See, the advantage of doing the live is that people can ask us, while we're discussing, when our audience has questions, they can ask questions as we're discussing. So I think it makes it a very engaging discussion. But Instagram doesn't allow us to do, it's actually not the best platform for architectural discussions because I know we all want to share images, but we have to make do with what we have.
Okay.
So let me start by giving a quick introduction for Dr. Ajit Gokhale. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Ajit Gokhale is the founder of Natural Solutions. It's a Mumbai-based organization. Natural Solution aims to spread environmental literacy and offer sustainable solutions for urban as well as rural problems of water scarcity, solid waste management, and wastewater treatment. Dr. Ajit is also a Jal Nayak, who's an expert trainer on water issues. He has about 3 decades of experience in the application of research in ecology, particularly in wetlands and water bodies. In his own words, Dr. Ajit has made natural resource conservation, water and wastewater treatment, and solid waste management his life's mission, passion, and profession. So thank you for joining us, Dr. Ajit. And today we're talking about, I know that you have range of, information on all sorts of water issues, especially, and natural resource conservation issues. But today we have decided to talk specifically about building reed bed systems for wastewater management. We at Grounded practice mostly in Goa and also in the Western Ghats, and we are lucky to practice on sites which are larger. And most of our clients are generally interested in sustainability. So we get to implement a lot of these systems. I have implemented the reed bed system in one of our projects. But I think there's even me who's already implemented the system still has a lot of doubts on the issue. So on the topic, and as you can see, we already have a lot of people who joined, and they will continue to say. So there is a lot of interest amongst people as well. It is a system that's shrouded in mystery because I feel that maybe it's meant to be different depending on different geographical locations. But let me kind of turn it to you first and ask you if you, in your words, can describe what is a reed bed system and how does it work for wastewater management treatment?
Reed bed system is a wetland in engineered form. Wetland in an engineered form,
Yes.
where we modify the substrate in such a way that it has very high porosity. It has place for the plant roots to grow, and it has plants which are acclimatized to the wastewater type of condition. It has bacteria, it has fungi, it has nematodes, it has millipedes, all of them which are acclimated to the wastewater type of condition. In that situation, they interact positively with each other, and for them, the waste that comes in is their food.
Right.
So they eat their food, and it helps us to remove the impurities which we have added.
Right. So
we set up an ecosystem.
Yeah.
Which, if we have designed it properly, if we have executed it properly, if we have supervised the execution absolutely keenly, I can assure you, no reed bed can go wrong. My first one was set up in 1999, and since then it has been functioning.
So the next question has to be about maintenance, but before that, I want to ask you, we want to clarify here, what is the wastewater that we're talking about here? We are primarily talking about gray water, correct? No.
We talk about gray water, we talk about black water, we talk about industrial wastewater. So my first reed bed was an industrial wastewater.
Wow. So it had heavy chemicals?
Yes, it had chemicals.
Okay. But
chemicals is not a big problem.
Okay, so we are not going to talk about industrial systems here because I think that's not directly of interest and we have limited time. So for example, for cases of residential or for cases of small hospitality, projects, a reed bed system, does it look different if it's only, treating gray water or if it is treating gray water and black water? Do the two look different or are they the same?
No, they could look same. Their look differs only if we are in two different geographical locations.
Okay.
Microclimate, if it is same, the reed bed can look like any other garden.
So so just for clarification, gray water, for everyone's clarification, gray water is basically the water that's coming from your shower, from your kitchen tap, from your just water from your bathrooms, but not the water from the WC. The WC water is called black water. In my opinion, from what I had researched and what we have implemented in the past, we constructed a reed bed system just for gray water. because we were under the impression that obviously black water has a lot more impurities, and therefore it would be more challenging to, kind of treat the black water in that way. So you are saying that the same gray water system that we had created could have treated the black water as well?
It could have if it was prepared properly.
Okay, okay. But in your opinion,
reed bed does not mean a pit filled with soil or a pit filled with gravel.
Yes.
No, it is not just that much.
Yes, I understand.
It has to have proper inlet structure. It has to have proper outlet structure. It has to have proper size, shape, directions, and proper plants and bacteria.
Okay, so why don't you begin by telling us what are the components of the reed bed? If you want to share your presentation, maybe that's going to help us.
That's what I'll do right now.
Thank you.
I'll turn the camera.
Yeah.
Now, what does it show?
I can see the keyboard, so you have to, yeah, okay, better. Yes. Right. Yes.
You can see.
Yes, we can
black
see.
Bottle and
yes.
Clear bottle.
Yes.
That is what is inlet and outlet of reed.
So how many days does it take for this black water to turn white in a reed bed system?
When we started the system, first about 6 days it took to fill the system. After that, the water started coming out white.
Wow.
It does not take a lot of time.
Oh, wow. That's very impressive.
If we have pre-planted the bed.
Right.
And then the bed keeps on functioning. Whenever you add 1 liter of water, about 0.7 liter or 0.9 liter, depending on the climatic conditions, will keep coming up.
Right, right. Okay.
So that is what happens. Now I'll take you to how big it can be.
Oh, wow.
It can be this big. And this growth just in about 4 years' time.
Okay.
It works like Miyawaki forest.
Okay.
Very quick, thick growth. And this gentleman helped me in setting it up. And he is relaxing actually on 15 lakh liters per day.
Wow.
Black water treatment.
Nice. Okay.
Unless you tell people that this is a reed bed system which is treating wastewater, nobody comes to understand it. No smell, no flies, no mosquitoes, no water on the ground. We walk over it. People over there go around that reed bed for morning walk and evening walk. They pluck the flowers on the reed bed and they use it for worship, puja.
Yeah.
It is that kind of reed. This garden is a reed bed. And it was made in a kind of resort which on weekdays gives out 10,000 liters of water. On weekends, it gives about 45,000 liters of water.
Wow.
And when there are functions like marriages, it gives out 70,000 liters of water.
Right.
And you can imagine it's a resort.
Yeah.
So all sorts of wastewater comes. And these people, when they were doing it, they did it not out of any compulsion from pollution control people. They did it because they did not have good ambience in their own resort.
Right.
They had bungalows on higher slope from where wastewater came into this area. It accumulated there and started stinking hellish. They had 4 bungalows which they could never let up. After we set this up, you can see this bungalow here?
Yeah.
All those 4 bungalows became the prime bungalows. The reed bed was their attraction.
Okay.
And they set this boat up inside which they made 2 honeymoon suites.
Got it.
So for all those who say reed beds stink, come here and experience it. Absolutely stinks.
So does it work better for at a bigger scale?
No, I have done it for 150 liters per day.
Okay, okay.
You can see this landscape.
Yeah.
All this is reed. It is treating 60,000 liters per day. There were different patches of greenery. They could not offer me one patch. So I said, all right, let all these patches function for the treatment. Many different kinds of plants, many different kinds of setups.
Got it.
You walk over it and you won't understand that these are treating sewage.
Got it. So in the at the inlet you have a tank, and at the outlet you have a tank. Is that how it works? And in between you have the reed bed.
Right. Very true.
Do you have a cross section, Dr. Ajit, or something?
Yes, I'll show you the cross section. Before I show you the cross section, I would like you to go through a few more photographs.
Yeah.
This one is a gold rated green building or green resort. This is the treatment system. This is the polishing pond.
Okay.
And we have
beautiful
many different kinds of plants.
Yeah.
We have fish in the treated water, which give us online information every second, whether the water is good or bad.
Good or bad, right, right.
Right?
Right.
The fact that the fish are living means the water is good.
Right, right. Yeah.
Otherwise, what happens? You take a sample and you send it to some place. It takes 5 days to give you answer whether the water that you sampled 5 days before was good or bad.
Right. Absolutely.
My system tells you every second.
Yeah.
I'm healthy. I'm healthy.
That's
I'm healthy.
That's the beauty of it, right? It's a living system.
Yes, it's a living system. It attracts birds.
Yeah.
There are flowers, many different kinds.
So basically,
this is a tiny one compared to what they see.
Let me just say that you're debunking a lot of the myths around the reed bed system at this point, right? First of all, you're telling us that, you know, there is no smell. So that is one of the biggest concerns that, you know, people usually, clients and architects, they usually have about, using the reed bed system is the smell. So that is one myth that you're debunking. The second one is that you're saying that it's actually not that, you know, you plant this reed bed and that land is sort of has to be segregated and cannot be used. So you're also telling us that all of that land is actually walkable and usable. So it becomes a part of the landscape. And the third is that it gives you clean water at the end, right? Which actually can be reused. You know, for irrigation or whatever. So you're actually creating a circular system within your property where you're taking your own wastewater, you're cleaning it, and then you're reusing it, and then once again cleaning it. So it's a circular system, and you're not depending so much.
No, it is not 100% circular.
Obviously.
It has a bypass.
Yeah.
It has a little bypass. Because if we keep on doing 100% recycling,
yeah,
we keep on adding the salts.
Right.
And when we keep on adding salts, after about 10 cycles or 12 cycles or 15 cycles, a time will come when the TDS level will go up. Right? So what we do, we recycle the water for gardening, which is the bypass.
Yeah, yeah.
We get water, we treat it, we use it for toilet flushing, and we keep on going cycles that way. But one part we give for gardening. When we do that, it is a zero discharge system, but it is not 100% leach.
Yeah. So when you use it for flushing of toilets, and I've seen this in a couple of projects, right? If you use it for flushing of toilets, what happens is that the water that is actually this I've seen myself in several projects, that the water that actually comes in is slightly yellow, right? So don't say no because I've seen it. I've seen it in more than one
You are seeing it
project.
all right, but
So it's yellow, and what happens with that is that it stains the fittings, the sanitary fittings, and that becomes so, not just the smell. There tends to be a slight smell, but even if you can overlook that, I think the other issue that comes up with reusing in toilets is that the water tends to stain the sanitary fittings.
staining is basically because of calcium and magnesium that is there in it.
Okay.
It becomes white stain. If there is iron, it becomes yellow stain.
Yeah, usually it's yellow in Goa.
If there are bacteria, it turns blackish.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on what kind of impurity you have.
Right.
And there are water conditioners which are fitted between the outlet of reed bed and the inlet to flush.
Sorry, what is fitted in between?
Water conditioner.
Water conditioner, okay.
It is a kind of magnetic device.
Okay.
Which keeps the hardness within, but that hardness doesn't stick onto the gadgets.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that.
So that way we could do that.
Okay.
If it is iron, in Goa it will be iron mostly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
In that case, your filling medium must have been laterite.
Right.
Right? When you have laterite filling medium, when you have acids alkali going in through your grey water, the water coming out will have some iron percentage.
Right, got it.
If the area is not sufficient, that iron doesn't get oxidized to hydroxide.
Right.
And that iron does not then precipitate within the bed. One major issue in reed bed failures is the design.
Mm-hmm.
People, I don't know how you calculate water usage, but there are many MEP consultants and architects who go by some book that is called as NBC.
Yes, true.
National Building Code.
Yes.
And the book says you use 135 liters of water per person per day.
Yes.
Which is a myth. People use 200 liters, 300 liters, 400 liters.
No, that's liters. True. So we actually use 250 liters as our benchmark. Because
again, that should not be applied to every situation.
Okay.
When you are living in your house with your own water facility and you are paying for that water, you usually tend to be judicial and use about 250 liters.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go out in a hotel or a resort, you are paying for the facility. So I must get best use of it. And then people bathe for 20 minutes. Right? People tend to use 350 liters in any resort. At home, they can live in 120 liters if there is water. But when they go to a resort,
so what happens? Like, I mean, should you design the system for more than what you estimate the quantity? Because it's also very difficult to really understand, the real capacity, and that capacity also may change, right? So is it better to design for? Yeah.
No. I'll tell you a design criteria. If you are designing for low income group people, usually they get less water available.
Yeah, of course.
I have studied at least about 25,000 or 30,000 dwellings in Mumbai, in Pune, in Delhi, and in several tribal hamlets and villages. Right? In tribal hamlets, people can live in 20 liters per day.
Of course.
In villages, people can live in 70 liters per day. In rich villages, same people. When a village was poor, they use 70 liters. When some dam happens somewhere, water comes and that water is used for farming and people start getting more income, though their political status still remains Gram Panchayat, they start using 250 liters, 300 liters per day.
Wow.
Because the gadgets in their home change.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you are carrying headload of clothes to a river for washing, or to a pond or to a well for washing those clothes, you use less water.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you are washing it at home with a bucket, you use less water. When you are using it in a washing machine, you tend to use more.
So tell us, how should the
That is
system
very
be designed, Dr. Ajit? Tell us the design and how we should go about it.
design as per the economic status of people.
Yeah.
In Mumbai, if you are aware of the localities, for Kulaba, Pali Hill, Malabar Hill, Cuff Parade, I would design it for 500 liters per person.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I have physically verified their water usage,
Wow.
their water bill, their tanker bills.
Yeah.
They don't bother about spending money for getting tankers.
Right.
Because their mobile bills is 3 times their water bill.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, the fact that water is very cheap,
they don't care.
Yeah, makes people care less about water. That's a problem. Yeah.
And that is the reason in one society in Pedder Road, I have seen people using 800 liters per person. That was the maximum. But otherwise, 500 liters is a norm in those days.
Okay, so 500 liters for high income group and maybe 300 for middle income.
Higher middle class, 300 to 350 liters.
Okay.
For resorts, 350 liters. For middle class, 200 liters or 250 liters. For lower middle class, about 170 liters. For slums, it could be 40 liters, 70 liters, 80 liters, depending on how bad the slum is.
Okay, so now we know the water usage and we know the number of occupants.
There's one more thing. At the lower end, the water becomes extremely concentrated. So though the volume is less, you need to use different multiplication factors. See, you are designing for 500 liters, dilute. You are designing for 250 liters, moderate. You are designing for 40 liters per person per day. That water is very thick.
Oh, because it'll have a lot of impurities because it's probably reused already. Right. Very good point. Yeah. Okay, so now we have the water usage.
It is not just hydraulic loading. It is not just hydraulic loading. It is also organic and mineral loading. Many people do not consider that mineral loading part.
Yeah.
They design for hydraulic and organic and say we have designed it properly.
I mean, I didn't even know there were different types of impurities that can be classified in that way. So I think you need to tell us more. But anyways, tell us about the design of the system, okay? If you were to basically try to tell us in a very short, I know it's obviously very detailed. There are too many details, right? But like, let's start with a basic introduction of a reed bed system. What are the components? And when you begin to design it, what are the factors you need to think about? So let's say that let's just make the scope of it limited. So we're saying that we're building for kind of the upper middle class, and and we're talking about wastewater management, gray water mostly maybe. How will you go about designing this system?
I'll again turn the camera on.
Thank you.
There. It consists of a lined tank filled with coarse mixture of high porosity. It's highly efficient sewage treating bacterial mixture that is needed in it. Specially selected, acclimatized flowering plants are needed in it. Flowering or non-flowering also. Right? Now, all these points are important because if you do not make a contained system, the water might seep in.
Mm-hmm.
We do not want
We
raw
do not
sewage to
want.
seep into the plant,
Right.
right? So what we do is my cursor visible?
No, but we can see the section. You can go a little closer,
Right.
Dr. Ajit. Yeah, that's better. Yeah,
Do I
got
need
it.
to focus it on something?
No, it's fine.
This is the lining that we use, and we ensure that it is absolutely impervious.
Mm-hmm.
It can be LDPE, it can be concrete, it can be compacted black cotton soil, or it can be a combination of all of these.
Okay.
Depending on site conditions, we decide it. In certain places where you get stone quarries,
Mm-hmm.
basaltic stone quarries, which are absolutely watertight,
Mm-hmm.
no lining is needed,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
lining is first component. Then inlet outlet structure. This is the inlet that is schematically shown.
Mm-hmm.
Before this, there is some kind of sedimentation or solids removal system.
Okay.
You can use IMOF tank, you can use septic tank, you can use anaerobic digester of any kind, and the water should go in at the base of the bed.
Okay.
Throw it on surface, and very soon you get a stinky place.
Okay. Got
Right?
it.
So
Interesting.
we do never throw it on the surface of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
We ensure that it goes through the inlet chamber at the base and then travels through the bed horizontally.
So what kind of chamber are you designing at the inlet?
It's a chamber maybe 1 meter by 1 meter in size if it is fairly large volume, something like 50,000 liters a day or 100,000 liters a day.
Mm-hmm.
By 1 meter internal sleeve is good enough. Then we have pipes which come out of this chamber, and those pipes have perforation,
Mm-hmm.
very large.
Mm-hmm.
Those large perforations are guarded. One very simple mistake that people do is they either read in their colleges or see some books which give only schematic diagrams and not details.
Mm-hmm.
They do make inlet trench or infiltration trench is the word used there,
Mm-hmm.
right? This word infiltration means the water is being thrown on the surface.
Oh, okay.
The water is infiltrating. No. The water is introduced at the base and then it is permeating through the system,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the pipe with perforations on it, if you throw gravel and the gravel goes and sits in front of a perforation, there's a
Mm-hmm.
perforation here,
Yeah.
and this gravel is sitting on top of it.
Yeah, then I'll block
That
it.
perforation is no more,
Yeah.
right? We ensure that each perforation on the pipe is properly guarded. Nothing will come and obstruct.
How is it guarded?
Uh,
Like, do you
there
have
is pipe. I'll show you. There is pipe
Uh-huh.
perforations,
Uh-huh.
large stones here.
Yeah.
And these large stones are not touching the pipe.
Mm-hmm. So you have a grate or something.
Large stone, very large stone, 6 inches, 1 foot,
Okay. So they're bigger than the
or
size of the perforation and therefore they will not block it.
much bigger,
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
right? Way too bigger than the diameter of pipe also.
Right. That's how it's guarded.
See, my
Got
fingers,
it. Yeah, I got it.
fingers are stones. And this is a pipe which has all absolute freedom to move.
Mm-hmm.
And all these holes are here.
Mm-hmm.
And this arrangement is all around the pipe.
Got it.
This I learned from our grandmothers who were using 3 stones for cooking food.
Right.
3 stones are placed side by side. You can place a utensil on top of it.
Yeah.
You can put wood through 3 different sides.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Got it. So,
I copied it from there.
so basically, let me understand. So first you're saying that the water that's actually going in is actually, there is a process of sedimentation, as you said, that has already happened. So that process of sedimentation, you said it could be a septic tank or could be like a anaerobic digester, right? So you are doing.
Now we have one more.
Yeah.
Now we have one more. We call it a Jalarakshak or cyclonic fecal solid separator.
Okay.
Cyclonic fecal solid separator is so fantastic. You flush your toilet, water and fecal matter comes out. Within 1 minute, the fecal matter is separated and water is separated. 98% of fecal matter is removed from water.
Okay.
It is composted again without any smell, without any flies, without any mosquitoes. Because we compost it on a thick decomposing mulch. There are thick sticks in it. There are fine dry grass on it. And the whole thing is aerobic. So all the fecal matter that deposits itself on it, there are earthworms inside. There are millipedes inside. And they are natural. We do not engineer them. Right? You will find them where there is decaying material. In the forest. Deep forest you go. With decaying leaves. And you will find those worms there. We invite them into our system. And they like it there. And because their food is restricted only in that place, they do not come in your home. Right? So that way, this is the recent most development that we have done.
I have a question.
Some kind of
a sedimentation chamber or something is required when we're putting the black water into this system. But what if we were only putting gray water into this reed bed system? Then do we require another sedimentation chamber or something before it?
I'll tell you. Gray water in an educated, civilized household is only bathing water and washing machine water.
Yes.
And kitchen.
Yes.
Right? One very big myth amongst architects is kitchen water is good waste. It is not so.
Because it has
kitchen
oil.
water has food in it. Imagine some part of food kept in a bucket full of water. 2 days.
Or smell.
As stinky as toilet.
Yeah.
Because fecal matter is produced from food.
Yeah.
So when the food goes bad, it becomes stinky.
Yeah. Rots.
I have been telling this to many architects. I was on board of some architectural colleges. I told them, you make changes in these things and tell people that kitchen water is as bad as toilet.
So are you saying that kitchen water should not be included in grey water classification? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
No, grey water is a misnomer. Kitchen water has food. Every time we have to deal with bath water, we say this is bath water.
Okay.
And we treat it.
Okay.
And we take kitchen water to the toilet water and treat it like toilet.
So if the bath water could be, if we were only treating, say, the bath water in a project, then can we put it directly into this reed bed system, or does it still have to go into a sedimentation chamber?
If you are treating bath water from a hostel, which is for industrial workers, quite often those hostels have the nani traps which are broken, right? And people use sachet, shampoo sachet, oil sachet,
plastic. But let's talk about residential.
We were working in orphanages, and we found the children there were throwing practically anything and everything in the bathroom. Toothbrush, slippers. Hello, am I streaming?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. There were toothbrushes, there were slippers, there were clothes, there were potatoes, there were other food items. You will never expect it to come from any kind of bathroom that you have designed. But in reality, they do come.
But Dr. G, let's stick to residential right now. Otherwise, like the topic becomes too extensive for us to cover.
Residential.
No, but like just talk about like houses. I think that let's just, because we have to narrow it down. Otherwise, we will not get to cover all the information.
A modern elite house where the money trap is in place.
Yes, exactly.
And the jali on the money trap is not damaged.
Is not damaged, yes. And let's also say that they're using a lot of organic products so that they not have chemicals.
Even if they use chemical products, as you are rightly said, bathing chemicals, air conditioners and things, and bathroom cleaners, they are worse than the pickle mat.
So is that a problem? Is that a problem in treatment?
Our kind of reed bed is not a problem.
So tell me about your type of reed bed system. Just tell me, okay, so first of all, my question is, if bath water is can it be put into the reed bed directly? Or does it need to go through another filtration, sedimentation?
We do a roughing filter.
You do a what?
A roughing filter is some kind of container. Roughing filter.
Roughing filter.
Is some kind of chamber with large stones filled in.
Okay.
And it has a sloping kind of grating on surface.
Okay.
All the water falls on it. Shampoo, sachet and anything, if it is there, is removed. Water passes through this gravel, and from there, it is made to go inside the reed bed and permeate.
Got it.
That is the way.
Got it. Okay. Right? So now let's talk about the reed bed. So what's very interesting is you said that we must put the water at the bed, at the lowest point of the reed bed, not at the top. If you put it at the top, then that's what leads to the smells. The pipe, the inlet pipe has to be perforated, and the perforations have to be protected so that they are not blocked. And then, okay, now continue after that.
After that guarded part around the pipe, the lower media is also extremely porous. We do not throw medium inside. We lay it one above the other.
Right.
It takes little more labor once. And later on, for decades, it keeps on functioning. Even if you neglect it. Right? Because the substratum is appropriately prepared.
Got it. So the large stones at the very bottom to protect the perforated pipe, and then over that you're saying some other porous material. So what are you putting there?
Smaller gravel, brickbat, overburnt brickbat.
Got it.
Broken tiles, broken chips, broken commodes, broken anything that is insoluble.
Debris. Construction debris. Yeah. Okay. And then?
All that allows water to pass through. It obstructs flow at different places. So the water has to take turning, twisting path. And that twisting path gives good sedimentation possibility.
Yes.
Right? It ensures good contact of water with the solid surface. If there are brickbats, brickbat is a porous medium.
Yeah.
Right? There are bacteria on the surface and there are bacteria inside the brick. Different kinds of bacteria grow. Because we are actually offering two different microclimates. Over here, there is movement of water. Over here, there is very fine movement of very slow movement.
Right.
So different kinds of chemical reactions take place in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
There is difference in the bottom layer of bed. There is difference in the middle layer of bed. There is difference in the upper layer.
Mm-hmm.
When there is sedimentation happening, the organic matter degrades. There are proteins, carbohydrates, fats, major items. There is DNA. There are various other kinds of chemicals. They degrade to become tiny, tiny, tiny small molecules.
Mm-hmm.
Those small molecules may have sulfonated components, which under anaerobic condition degrade to form sulfides. Sulfides are black. Sulfides are smelly.
Mm.
So these sulfides,
Stay at the bottom.
if it is a hydrogen sulfide gas,
Mm-hmm.
it starts climbing within the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes in contact with the upper areas, upper layers of the bed,
Mm-hmm.
bacteria which convert it into sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide and sulfates. No smell comes out of them.
So
When there are nitrogen containing compounds,
yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
When there are nitrogen containing compounds, under anaerobic condition, they are converted to amino or ammonium, that is NH2 or NH3 or NH4 radicals.
Mm-hmm.
All these radicals have nitrogen and hydrogen. They are smelly, right? As they start coming up or as they come in contact with the roots, these get converted to nitrate, NO3,
Mm-hmm.
into NO2, right? Nitrate. All these are non-smelly.
Mm. So basically, after the whole, the porous sort of layer in the reed bed, where a lot of sedimentation is happening, as you're saying, and the bacteria is beginning to work on the water to break down some of the chemicals and the impurities in the water, then what's above that? Soil?
Above that, finer particles,
Mm-hmm.
finer gravel,
Mm-hmm.
sand, soil.
Okay.
The top is soil.
Soil. Got it.
In the soil we plant.
Got it.
And while we are filling it, we ensure bacteria are distributed in the filling medium.
How do you ensure that?
We have certain kinds of cultures which we have been growing and keeping. We have got them from worst kind of industrially and sewage polluted sites. Right? You don't get good bacteria in a flower. Flower is final product of a tree.
Mm.
It doesn't have any bad bacteria.
Right.
For us, it is good bacteria.
But does
Right?
that mean that, I mean, you're saying that you're putting this bacteria into the soil, right? But does that mean that a homeowner, if they want to implement this system themselves without, can it be a DIY system?
Yes, it can be DIY if they procure a homeowner who is doing only bath water.
Yeah.
Can take good compost and fill it in the bed and do it.
Okay.
When we install and we supply those bacteria and plants, our USP is our system commissions very quickly.
Right, because you have these
right?
cultured bacteria, which makes the system function from day one.
Quicker, right? Whereas if you are doing DIY and if you are doing only compost or cow dung or curd, those also are bacteria.
Right.
But the combination may not be just right. It may need some time to develop.
Got it. And then where is the final outlet of this chamber, of this reed bed? Oh, also at the base.
The final outlet is here.
Also at the base.
That is also at the base.
Okay. Okay.
It is not just at the base, it is upturned.
Mm. So no solid impurities can come out.
No.
Yeah, I got
It
it.
is upturned.
Mm-hmm.
The pipe actually brings wastewater from below, and in the outlet chamber it is upturned and it spills. So to that level, there is water in the reed.
Yeah.
Right? And we take it out from there. So no solids come out. It's good.
Right. So there
And there as
obviously,
well, we have these pipes.
yeah.
Water does not directly come through a hole into an outlet chamber. No. It comes through a pipe. That pipe is perforated. That pipe is protected. And that pipe is upturned. So it is like this.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
So that is the outlet. We bring it out into a maturation pond where we keep fish, where we plant plants. The fish eat away if there is anything remaining. The fish keep telling you, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. So the system is okay, system is
Also,
okay.
this the pond is also required, from what I know, to actually oxygenate the water because the water loses, right? So nowadays, let me ask you this, that nowadays there are these biodigesters that are available where you can put in the black water and gray water. You can put in all the water, that means, and they do use bacteria to basically treat the water, and then the clean water just comes out in the other chamber. So we don't need a reed bed system, they claim, and we also don't need a polishing pond in that case. What is your opinion on that?
You have seen it functioning.
But no, I've seen it in a like a trade fair.
They do make claims which are pretty tall. Even Indian Railways, when they are installing those bio toilets,
Yeah.
DRDO and many people were claiming that only you will get carbon dioxide and water from this.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing will be there. We'll be happy if that happens. But railways are having very tough time emptying their tanks and treating it. If you search appropriately, you will find the water that comes out from railway biodigesters has between 800 to 1000 BUD and between 2500 to 3000 CUD.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, sorry. Uh, Measurement of organic matter that is there in the water.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
When we call water bad, it has impurities in it. That is the time we call it bad. And suppose these are total impurities, which are digestible. Out of them, these are aerobically digestible easily. So much. The others are complex chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
So they take more time to oxidize.
Right.
Some of them could be so complex that no normal biological procedure can oxygenate them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Detergents
Mm-hmm.
which have alkyl benzene sulfonate,
Mm-hmm.
ABS. Alkyl benzene sulfonate comes in this category. It just does not degrade in any kind of biological system because biology has never
So
had
then,
this.
are you saying that the reed bed system also cannot treat that?
No, what I'm saying is ABS kind of detergents cannot be treated effectively.
Okay.
They come up. Other detergents which are biodegradable, they are treated. Soaps are extremely biodegradable, so no issues.
What brands of detergent are fall in this ABS category? Just for our
Uh,
information, like,
Nobody actually nowadays says we are using ABS.
acha. But in your experience in the reed bed systems, do you think that's a problem, the use of detergents?
No, we have all sorts of detergents coming into Redbud and they go out. And unfortunately, what has happened is we are a tiny organization which are doing actual projects.
Mm.
If there is a research organization which has a huge research budget and people to actually keep
a tab on
doing
the
microfine research.
right.
Hmm? They might find that reed beds are actually treating detergents because the water that comes out does not froth so much. The water that is before treatment, it froths a lot.
Yeah.
In Bangalore, you must have seen.
Also in Yamuna in Delhi, right? In the river Yamuna, it's
Also
all you can see all the froth. It's pretty.
all the froth.
It's quite a sight.
2-story tall.
Dr. G, we are running out of time. It's almost been an hour, so I have important questions to ask. Okay, before. I think that the system that you described is really interesting. I think the point is that you have given us a lot of details which are really practical details, right? But we would love to actually get some of your cross sections and things and actually make a blog post about it on our website so that information is available. We will also from you get like how to calculate the size of the reed bed, like all of those calculations. I think even if we discuss it now, it will be a little bit lost because it, I think, has to be written down for everyone to kind of, understand and assimilate. So we will do that. We'll get that from you and also put it on the blog post. I guess the biggest question, so there are two, I think, main questions that we have not targeted. One is what kind of plant material can we plant? There was a question that someone's asked like right now in the live is, can we plant a vegetable garden on top of the reed bed? So that's number one. Number two is about maintenance. And I think this is a bigger question. So maybe you address the maintenance part first. We'll have to keep it brief, but so I think the main concerns about using the reed bed system are threefold. One is the smell. Second is the maintenance, what kind of maintenance, and third is the amount of space that's required. That has to be dedicated to creating this reed bed system as well as a polishing pond, right? So a lot of people don't have the luxury of having that kind of space. So these are the three biggest problems. So if you can talk about maintenance first, then maybe the plant material, and the space is what it is, right? So people, if they want to dedicate space, if they have the space, that is something that's you and I can't change. So let's talk about maintenance.
There is maintenance. If somebody says there is absolutely no maintenance, is lying. It is low maintenance, but not no maintenance. Because even this body needs to be bathed, teeth needs to be brushed. Some little maintenance is required. And what is that maintenance? The sedimentation tank needs to be clean.
Okay.
If it is sedimentation. When it is nicely maintained, your reed bed remains live forever. The reed bed per se does not need any kind of change of material. Okay. If it is designed properly and executed properly.
Okay.
It does not ask you to trim the plants.
Okay.
What will happen? It will become a very big thicket and jungle.
Yeah.
But it will function. Trimming is need of human eye.
But we can, yeah. That does not hamper the system.
It does not hamper the system. Provided a plant which is say 6 feet tall or 10 feet tall or 50 feet tall is not cut down at the base.
Yeah, of course. So some gardener who knows about the plants have to maintain the plants.
We give pruning schedule to our clients saying these are the plants, you put them at 2 feet below the ground. 2 feet above the ground. These are the plants you cut 5 feet above the ground. These are the plants you never trim. Right? And if they stick to it, all the plants remain in the bed and do their function.
Got it.
Right? If the area is a concern, we'll come to the area part.
Yeah.
So pre-treatment is best. The reed bed area required is less.
Pre-treatment in your, what you're saying is the sedimentation chamber.
Yes. Now with our solid separator, the water coming out of the solid separator will have BOD values of something like 30 or 40. and COD values of 80 or 100.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the septic tanks, anaerobic digester of any kind, they can never give this kind of treatment, right? So a good pre-treatment can reduce the surface area of river. Partial mechanization can reduce the surface area of the river, right?
But this is all pre-treatment, basically.
Recirculating the treated
This is all pre-treatment at the pre-treatment level.
water.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this Jal Rakshak that you talked about, which is this, new solid waste separator that, can be used. Who is manufacturing that?
We have made prototype and tested and placed it in 5 different places. We make it.
Okay, okay. Good to know. Okay. Good to know. Okay, great. Yeah, so I think that overall we've talked about a lot of things. The last thing is the plant material. So talk to us about, say, let's just stay concentrated to, say, Goa and the Western Ghats. What kind of plants can we grow? And as I said, there was a question earlier about whether we can grow a vegetable garden on it.
We grow certain food plants, but not root or tuber crops.
Right.
We grow bananas, papayas, right? Tuber crops we plant, but we suggest people not to eat.
Okay.
Right? That is one thing. Leaves can be eaten. In Maharashtra Police Academy, which is in Nasik, people are using the reed bed for audible.
Yeah. Now. Sorry, we lost you in between. Yes.
So over there, we have planted about 80 different species of plants. In Bellary, Karnataka, we have planted 73 different species of plants. In Goa, in Western Ghats, you can plant probably 150 different kinds of plants because we have more biodiversity here in Western.
Right. So we'll
In
get a
Germany,
list. Yeah,
we can send you a list.
Yeah.
What happens is, it is not the list of plants that is important. It is the state of that plant which is important.
Okay.
Right? All of us are human beings. But we are not Sachin Tendulkar. All of us are human beings. But we are not Mike Tyson. Right? Why Mike Tyson can fight so efficiently and not you and me? Because he's trained to do that.
So what are the kinds of plants that we need to choose?
I can tell you what I did when I started researching on this. For first about 4 months, I went to various different chemical industrial estates and went around their wastewater pipelines.
And saw what plants were growing there.
From there, we collected different samples of plants. I went around habitations and their gutters and the wastewater that was flowing through. I went on searching this plant, that plant, that plant, and selected those plants. Nature had selected them before. I collected them. I multiplied them and I used them. Right? So natural selection of the plant species, not species, of the plant material. There were people who said, oh, you are using canna. We also have canna. We'll use it. So, okay, please go ahead, use it. But I told them, let us make reed bed into 2 sections. In one section, I use my canna, you plant your canna in the other section. They got beautiful dwarf, big flowered, variegated leaved cannas from their nearby nursery. And they planted their plants and I planted my plants. 2 months down the line, their plants were wilted and dead. Our plants were thriving.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. All the effort that you put into it is worth it.
25 years back, 6 months of traveling in worst kind of water situation and collecting plants from them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Dr. Ajit, we have to wrap up. It's been an hour. People don't have attention spans these days. We can't help it. But what I think what we are going to do is we're going to do a follow-up blog post on our blog, and in that we will add details of your cross section of, so that will tell us what are the different layers and what are the, the kind of the components of the reed bed system that need to happen for it to work efficiently. We'll also get the calculations from you about how to calculate the surface area and the volume of, these components. We'd also try to get like a plant list for at least the Western Ghats area so that, at least for that area, we can have a bit more information on the plant list. But I think that overall in this discussion, what's been really interesting to me is, the fact that we can first treat black water and gray water, both using this reed bed system. And industrial waste, industrial chemically, whatever, polluted water if needed. It does not smell if you design it correctly, right? And it requires very little maintenance, because from what you have said, only the first chamber, which is the sedimentation chamber, that will require maintenance, but that is true with any septic tank, for example, as well, right? So it's not a very big additional sort of maintenance, and the reed bed itself, doesn't really require any maintenance. Only the plants will have to be pruned for more aesthetic value, but that does not impact the reed bed system itself. So maintenance, guys, everyone is concerned about maintaining reed beds. So maintenance is, not that critical. And smell is not an issue. Space, yes, will be required. And we'll, write about what kind of space usage is needed. And at the end of it, you actually get very clear, clean water that can be used for irrigation, can be used for washing cars, can be used for a lot of reuse, basically. And obviously, it can be reused for flushing of toilets. So that is like a big sort of creating a circular system within your site for water reuse and management. So, Dr. Ajit, thank you so much for your time and for all the information. And I always feel that architects don't talk to engineers enough, right? And engineers, it's really needed, because we don't know, the kind of the chemistry behind these systems. We don't know the biology behind these systems. And but I think that architects have their hearts in the right place, where we do want to, incorporate sustainable practices into our projects. So also, guys, Dr. Ajit Gokhale runs an organization called Natural Solutions. It's Mumbai based. And, if anyone is looking for consulting work or, more information on reed beds, on wastewater management, and rainwater harvesting, then he's your guy. And we will also, along with this, when we post this, we'll also add his contact information to that. So thank you so much, Dr. Ajit Gokhale, and we'll follow up.
Sure. By the way, I have 2 reed beds in Goa.
Oh, really?
One is Purvarin, and the other is in Devarayi.
Are they in resorts or in houses?
No, they are private residence of Mr. Lenny Menezes.
Okay, good. Maybe we can go see it and take photographs and tell you how it's doing. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Bye-bye.